Hello guys, and welcome back to another video in my DIY analog synthesizer videos. Basically what I'm going to go through today is a topic I've covered before. This is regards to the wavefolder PCB. I just kind of had a bit of a thought yesterday, and I thought, although it sounds really good, I think I could make it sound better than it does. And my quest was to try and make sure I got as much folding as I can, and the more folds you get on the waveform, the more harmonics you introduce. Now that sort of gives you a lot more scope for creating sounds that you kind of wouldn't traditionally make from a subtractive analog synthesizer. So basically what happens is you cause the transistors, there's two transistors per cell. You have a PNP and an NPN, which is negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive transistors, which basically go into a saturation stage. And when they go into this saturation stage, parts of the waveform will actually start to fold back on itself. So as I just quickly show you here, and there's no sound, but we'll show you the sound in the next part. So basically my goal was to try and optimize each cell for the maximum foldage without distortion, because you can get into a distortion stage where it just sounds completely horrible, doesn't sound very musical. I mean, this is not a very musical wavefolder, to be honest with you. There's no sort of like any sort of real harmonic relationships between your input waveform and your output, but it does really add a nice rich tone to it, almost kind of like into sort of like FMDX territory. And some people will be out there with their sticks bashing FM on the head, but anyway, that's not what we're here for. So this was the original schematic, and as we see, I've kind of color coded each cell. So each cell here, I'm going to quickly just scroll through that. With that, you can see each cell has a set of two transistors in this area here, and then we have a couple of resistors which go to the plus rail and the minus power rails. So I just basically had to tinker with values of these resistors and swap the transistors over and try and get it so I've got a nice high gain, a kind of nice clean signal as well, and as much folding as I could get. So as we can see, this is basically just running a triangle wave through the wavefolder. As you can see, that's all starting to move across. That's because of the DC offset. There's no sort of DC offset compensation. So if you are looking at this on a scope, it will start to jitter about unless you move the actual, if you change the offset, as I'm going to try and do there, and it will should stabilize-ish. So depending on the amplitude, that will change. That's just going through the wet and dry blend back to a triangle wave. I can make that fold even more because this triangle wave at the present is not at full volume. Once we get into full volume, we're almost going into a sine wave because of how hot it runs through the whole synthesizer system. So when we get to the end of the chain, as you can see there, that's a lot of folding stages there. If I start to back that off, you can see that is a lot of folding stages happening there. So you can imagine that's quite a lot of harmonic scope going on in there. And as we go up the scale, we actually get a few more folds the higher the frequency we go. So at the moment I'm at quite a lowish frequency. Hold on, sort of roundabout. We're around about 256, or so I say 261, about C4, or could be one octave higher. Anyway, in this second part of the demo, or should I say the video, second part of this video, I'm gonna show you, give you a small sound demo. Please leave a comment at the end and give us a thumbs up. Please support the channel, and thank you guys for all your support. Just one other thing to mention: if you go to a guy called Eddie Bergman, so that's, I think that's EDDY.BERGMAN.com, and you go to his website, he has a lot of sort of synthesizer circuits and build, and he has featured my sort of wavefolder build on his part 34. So if you can go and check that out, you can also download the full schematic, and he's actually done a kind of a modification to it where he's actually using a Vactral as a voltage control really wicked demo. Go check that one out. And yeah, lots of resources there as well. I thought I'd give you guys a heads up on that one. So much respect to Eddie. Thanks for that. Right, guys, I will see you back on the other side of this one. Take it nice and easy.